A very beautiful morning to you and welcome to the Idea Morning Digest. I think it's a very bright and beautiful morning here in the city of Abuja, and I hope it is bright where you are. So it's good to be starting your morning with us, myself and Mary. But then, you know what we do here, things around science, around innovation, development, research, entrepreneurship, technology, education, and everything around you that matters. This is the right place to be. If you have what you want to share with us, if you have, things around the conversations we'll be sharing with you today, if you have ideas, if you have thoughts, you can share them with us via our social media platforms at Idea Television, and of course via email. But then my name is Cynthia Bassi, and like I said before, it's good to be starting my morning and your morning with me as well. And I'm not alone, of course, I'm with...
Yeah, and I am Mary.
I was planning to say John. Mrs.
yeah. Actually, we have a new shout here. No longer John Mary, but rather Mary Ojuma.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's right. Every day comes with its own surprise, and of course, it's our headline. Our job is to break down, give you the context and show you why they matter, whether it's in education, business, innovation, science, tech, or those everyday issues. And welcome once again.
Yes, of course, you've heard from Mary. So yes, the idea interests are out, and the last one we released is the idea government agencies of interest. Very, very interesting one. I know you don't want to miss it. It has been launched, the documentary style bulletin, and also the audio visuals are available on our YouTube, on Limex for you to watch. We are trying to showcase African leading government agencies that are driving research, that are driving innovation, and of course national development. And this series opens with, agencies in South Africa like the National Research Foundation and some other agencies around Africa, like in Rwanda, TED Fund in Nigeria, and so many others. And this is not the end, because we'll be rolling out more bulletins on covering agencies that are doing impactful work in Africa. And of course, it's not just about government agencies. We've rolled out Idea Universities of Interest. We've rolled out Idea Persons of Interest. We have 2 editions out already, and another one will be coming out soon. We have Idea SMEs of Interest, and very soon we're going to be releasing the Idea Entertainers and Artists of Interest. I know you don't want to miss that, but for now, I always tell you that I bring you good news. The bulletins are free for you to download, so you can download, read, and see what is happening around Africa. But then before we go on this short break, let's bring you up to speed with the headlines we'll be bringing your way this morning. First news we'll be bringing your way this morning: governors hold emergency security meetings as coup attacks surge.
And we have the United Kingdom rejects Nigerian request to transfer EKWEREMADU.
And next, fear as president orders withdrawal of police.
Samsung unveiled a transparent micro-LED prototype that stole headlines. These displays don't just look futuristic. They offer practical benefits, like heads-up navigation for drivers and interactive medical imaging for hospitals. By 2026, we'll likely see the first wave of real-world deployments.
Welcome back, and then we'll be taking our story that we have on this Idea Morning, and over to you, Cynthia.
Okay, so the first story we have here is the Northern Nigeria's kidnapping crisis has prompted the 19 governors of the region to convene an emergency security meeting scheduled for the 29th of November in Kaduna. The session will focus on the rising wave of school abductions, bandit attacks, and broader insecurity following recent raids in Kebbi and Niger states that left dozens of students kidnapped and forced several schools to shut down. Some governors, including the Nasarawa state governor, who cut short an international engagement, say they are already on red alert and strengthening surveillance and support for security agencies. The move comes just as Southwest governors held a parallel meeting in Ibadan, backing the creation of state police and announcing new regional measures, including a joint digital intelligence sharing platform and a Southwest Security Fund. They also called on the federal government to secure forest belts that have become hideouts for criminal groups and to deploy forest guards across the region. The governors further raised concerns about unregulated interstate migration and illegal mining, insisting both are now linked to security threats. Meanwhile, several northern states are taking immediate action. Bauchi has ordered the closure of all schools over heightened threats. Plateau is drafting a new security plan, and Kano has deployed vehicles and motorcycles to boost rapid response in vulnerable councils. Police authorities in Gombe say they have intensified surveillance around schools and strengthened collaboration with principals to protect learning environments. Okay, this is not a new story. I mean, this is a story that really strikes at the heart of our sense of security, like we've always talked about, and especially for parents and communities. Because when I say for parents, is because this is affecting parents. Children are being taken away. When you hear 19 governors, northern governors are coming together, convening for an emergency meeting, then because schools are under attack, then you know that it's a serious issue. Like I said yesterday, this is no longer just even a security issue. This is moving from a national issue to even a global issue, because when you start having Pope Leo, putting out a call to action, when you start having, other international bodies being concerned and talking about the security of Nigeria, then you know that it signals the severity of the crisis, that something is really happening in this country, and it's not just about isolated incidents anymore. We are talking about coordinated raids, and I mentioned this yesterday. We are talking about kidnappings. We are talking about schools. We are talking about, schools are now saying students to go and stay home, to go and sit at home. And when we begin to hear of things like that, I mean, it's no longer also strike distance. It's because we are trying to protect our lives. It's a very serious issue. And what I find particularly interesting is the contrast with Southwest governors too, because as the northern governors are convening, the Southwest governors have already met. They are not even only talking about beefing up security at this point in time. This was something I mentioned yesterday, that we have to be very strategic when we are putting out measures to curb this issue. It's no longer about just talking about, okay, something happened, let's deploy 100 police officers to go, let's deploy 100 military persons to go and secure this area. It's about carrying out strategic plans, creating systems like, and what the Southwest governors are doing. They're trying to create an intelligence communication medium, a platform for sharing information among these areas, the Southwest region. And this, I see, is a very good move. And also the security fund they are trying to put together is also a very good move, because these are proper strategies we need to tackle this issue, to tackle issues like this, like especially when we talk of issues like forest hideouts. We know some of these people, when after being abducted, they are taken to hideouts in the forest. They are taken to, and we must. And I mentioned yesterday that we have to look at the root causes of these things, the root causes of these kidnappings, the root causes of these killings, the root causes of these abductions. Who are these people doing these things? We have to begin to check our borders. See, some of those illegal miners that are coming into the country, some of those, illegal migration. We need to check all of these things. These are structural approach that we must take. And also another truth that I must say is that even as all these meetings and plans are going on, I always have a but, that implementation is very, very key. Very important. We cannot just come together and call for meetings just because something has happened. There must be, implementation, rapid response units. We don't just need something that has happened now. Surveillance here can help us, but if all of those underlying issues that I mentioned persist, if they continue to carry on, even some issues like poverty too, I did not mention, can cause some of these issues, because we see that they are now extorting, people. They are collecting money, they are collecting ransoms for these adopted people. So if we have all of these issues, we have poverty still, the poverty rate in Nigeria, I cannot even mention at this point in time. Illegal migration in Nigeria is something that we even must, check. Look into. Weak intelligence, all of these things, if they are not addressed, then I think we'll continue risking fixing temporary, or having temporary fixes, if I should put it that way.
So I would say that I actually like the fact that they are coming together to look at this particular issue, because we don't want our education system to be weakened. The way it is now, students are actually avoiding to go to school because, of course,
Exactly.
like I said last time, who want to go to school and get kidnapped at the end of the day? I like the collabo already. I like the joint efforts they are putting. I like the fact that we're going to look into this, their hideout. We're going to know what we do. We have land, we have forests, we have a lot of... So these things, we should look into it, just like they are doing and looking into it, to know how we can actually, strengthen our security, the surveillance. Everything is actually nice. And I believe that as it is, social media is now everywhere. Everybody sees things in social media. I believe that those bandits have also come to know or see. If they cannot read, at least they can see that plans are going on. Everybody is trying to tighten one side security or another. Nobody is relentless anymore. Everybody is trying to put things in order. So I like the collaboration very much. And with this, our children can also have confidence in the government to say, oh, we can go back to our schools confidently. We will not be kidnapped. We will go and come back. Parents will have faith in schools that, oh, my child is safe and all that. But right now, many schools are being closed because of the insecurity problem. And before you know now, it will enter our food and other things, because, of course, who wants to go to the farm and get kidnapped? Who wants to go to the farm and get kidnapped? So I believe that with this on ground now, it's going to actually help us move forward. And yes, let's move to the next story without taking much of your time. The United Kingdom has rejected Nigerians' request to transfer former deputy... The United Kingdom, has rejected Nigerians' request to transfer former Deputy Senate President EKWEREMADU, who is currently serving a prison sentence for organ trafficking. EKWEREMADU, was jailed for 9 years and 8 months in 2023 after a United Kingdom court found him, his wife Beatrice, and a medical doctor Obina guilty of conspiring a young Nigerian man for his kidney intended for his daughter in a private London hospital. A Nigerian delegation led by the Minister of Foreign Affairs met officials of the UK Ministry of Justice last week, seeking EKWEREMADU's transfer, while Dr. Obina continues to serve a 10-year sentence. The case came to light after the victim fled and sought help, saying he feared being trafficked again. Now, talking about this EKWEREMADU's case, if I want to look at it humanly, I would say he was actually looking for help for his daughter, wanting to save her life. But you cannot be wanting to save a life.
Expense of another person's life.
You cannot be wanting to do that. So, to me, I feel that, he was actually trying to... Well, if you look at it the other way, these are things that are actually going on in this country right now, presently in Nigeria. But it happened in the UK, and they are taking it very seriously. I just want us here in this country to take it also very serious, because we have organ harvesters. These things are what... It's just because we're having this bandit issue that this one is not coming up. But this has been what has been happening. Harvesting of organs, selling of organs. You're going out, you're not sure, the security, every time. So, I don't know. It's just heartbreaking.
It really is, because first of all, one that speaks highly of justice, and this case is also a reminder of justice. This case has been for a while now, and the UK's rejection of Nigeria's request to transfer EKWEREMADU back here is grounded in a simple fact that they are not convinced that the sentence will be properly enforced in Nigeria. It's we know. I mean, I do not even want to castigate my country to an extent. And realistically, this is a reflection of our penal system and, the capacity to ensure high-profile convicts serve their full sentences. We know when an elite, when somebody in higher rankings, when people in higher statuses are in some... should I say, in some trouble. We know how, it can be meted with some sort of mercy, pardon. Some sort of pardon, all because of your high ranking. But over there, it's different. And it's even a shame that they are stating it clearly that we do not want to send EKWEREMADU back to Nigeria because of this particular reason. So I think it's a shame to our country. And now, while it may feel like a diplomatic site, it is also a case for us as a country. If we want to negotiate for such transfers, transfers in the future, I feel like this is like a call to action for us to put our system in place.
In order.
Make sure that we are law abiding. We have laws.
Of course.
Right, human trafficking and a human rights consent too at this point in time. So it's a whole lot. It's bigger than just the court. So the UK courts rightly labeled it as despicable because it's very despicable. It's a despicable act, and the fact that the victim had to flee to protect, his life. I mean, it underscores a whole lot of things here, that the very real consequences of crime is even beyond borders. Like, we can go that extent to commit some certain, crimes. And the person we are talking about here is somebody that is in no place to give consent to what should be done to, him. Because according to them then, when the case was still on, that when they were caught recently, that he gave his consent and whatnot. I mean, you are trying to save another person's life at the expense of another person's life. It's very despicable. So it's very, I think it's uncomfortable, but also instructive that this isn't about national pride. It's not about we are Nigerians, we're a sovereign country. Now, this is where sovereign country shouldn't even come in. It's about ensuring that our justice system, our penal system, stand up to global scrutiny. Stand up and say, let us be bold to say that, okay, Nigeria is a law-abiding country, because how can another country view or rule your country as one that cannot serve justice accordingly? It's a shame. But then we have to move to the next story. President Bola Tinubu has directed the withdrawal of police escorts from very important persons across the country, a move that has triggered widespread concern among high-profile individuals. According to the presidency, the measure is aimed at redeploying police personnel to core policing duties, while VIPs who require protection will now request trained operatives from the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps. However, several affected VIPs have expressed fears over whether civil defense operatives can adequately protect them, citing gaps in training, equipment, and rapid response capability compared to mobile police units. Senior police sources also confirm that top officers are receiving increasing calls from anxious VIPs seeking clarity on the new directive. Meanwhile, the African Democratic Congress has criticized the decision, describing it as a political theater that fails to address Nigeria's deepening security crisis. The party insists that repeatedly withdrawing escorts will not resolve the structural challenges facing policing, including inadequate training, limited capability, and the complex nature of insurgency and violent crime across the country. Now, we talked about this when the president wrote this plan out. We talked about it yesterday, but then the police force have come out to say that VIPs, are calling them to complain that leaving their protection or their safety to the hands of civil defense, they are not so sure about it. Now, I think this directive, first of all, from the president, like I said, is very important. It was what most Nigerians have been calling for. Like Chinatu even mentioned that she went to a party and saw that a police personnel was serving food to VIPs, and that is uncalled for. It's uncalled for. I mean, it indignifies the profession, and it's totally uncalled for. So when the president comes out, President Tinubu comes out to say, I want to, end this, I want to disband this, I think it sends ripple effects across the VIP community. It raises questions that are worth thinking through. First of all, how trained are these people? They are right to say they are not so sure about the training civil defense personnel or officers have received. On another hand, it's also a call to action to say, okay, we have to start training our security agents. We have to start training our security officers across all security agencies. We do not have to wait for something to happen before we begin to give them the proper, training. So I think first of all, the president's intention is very clear. Let police go and police the states. Let it go and police communities, because that is their core duties. You cannot leave your duty and go and be guiding one important person. It's not even about, once you are influential or you even have small change in your pocket in Nigeria now, you can call a mopo, you can call a police officer to come and follow you, escort you all over the place and carry handbags for you. It's very uncalled for. So I think what the presidents have done is very important. First of all, to strengthen policing where matters the most, and I think it's very commendable. But then, this one that VIPs are now saying it's rubbing off on their safety, they are not so sure. I think it's very understandable. It's quite understandable. There can be, you know, their nervousness is quite, yes, understandable. But mobile police units are trained. We know very well that mobile police, the normal police we know are trained, you know, they are equipped, they are ready to give quick, immediate response, you know, the moment they notice anything. But then civil defense personnel, I'm not so sure. But like I shared yesterday, I was reading a civil defense manual and guide, and I saw that part of their duty is to protect the lives of persons too, of private and public entities and whatnot. So I feel like if the president say we are now giving this responsibility to the civil defense, it's up to the government, it's up to the state to say, okay, let us train them to be able to carry out these duties, because you cannot give them a responsibility and not bring them up to speed with that responsibility. You have not equipped them with the right tools to be able to carry out those duties. So I feel like it's more like this is not the time to fear. It's the time to now say, okay, let's give them the proper training that is much required for them to be able to carry out, you know, this job, because whether we like it or not, they are security personnel. And when matters like this arises, I don't think it's the time for us to start saying these ones are not trained, these ones are trained, these ones are, and be scared for your life. Meanwhile, the criticism too that is coming from the African Development Democratic Congress party is very interesting too, because they call it a political theater. Wow. And they are not entirely wrong. Somehow, in quotes, they are not entirely wrong. If we look at the larger picture, with kidnappings, with, you know, banditry, with insurgency on the rise, and a whole lot of symbolic, a symbolic gesture like this, withdrawing escorts without, you know, that broader structural reform is the problem. And I talked about it yesterday. It's not about designating roles. It's about structural reform. That is what is necessary to keep us safe at this point in time. And VIPs, this is not the time to be concerned about just your life. We're in a time where Nigeria is battling with a whole lot of things. So I think the debate here should be about strategies. Yes. That's where the debate should come in, versus optics. Not whether leadership is prioritizing actual security for this person or this one, or the outcomes or appearances. That's not what we are looking at. We are looking at, you know, life tests of policy versus perception. At this point in time, let's talk about the generality of the issue. How are we going to protect our lives in general as a country?
Exactly. I think, Cynthia, you said everything I wanted to say that has been in my mind. But the little thing that I have to add here is that we really, really, really need to look at the brighter side of this. Because yes, in as much as you personally do want a security guard, that is how other lives are actually very important. So this particular decision of the president is something that citizens have been crying about all the while. Just an ordinary person is being, you know, feeling insecure because, of course, you see VIPs passing every day. You'll be like, wow, I wish I was. I wish I was.
Life is there.
So what about me? How do I go out? What about if I don't have the name to put to it, and I don't have the resources to actually get this police program? So, and that action of actually policeman serving is actually demeaning, very demeaning
to the
because
profession.
Of course, how does that even relate? This is Nigeria. We should make Nigeria. We should stand.
We are not saying
Nigeria.
that police officer.
No. We went to a party. Actually, we saw. So, actually, this decision is actually a nice one. That is all I have to say. So, moving forward, we have the Kogi state is taking steps to strengthen its revenue system, as the State Internal Revenue Service has asked the House of Assembly to domesticate the newly signed Nigerian Tax Act and the Nigerian Tax Administration Act. The executive chairman of the service, Dr. Salihu Enehi, told lawmakers in Lokoja that aligning the state's framework with the national reform will make tax administration clearer, more transparent and easy to implement. Dr. Anehi explained that the Nigerian Tax Act consolidates several existing tax law into one document, helping to address multiple taxation and improve investment conditions. He noted that the new laws introduce a fairer structure, examining individuals earning less than 1.3 million naira a year, reducing the burden of middle-level earners, and placing higher obligations on those earning above 3 million naira, including major business operators. The chairman of the House Committee of Finance, Atiku Lawan, welcomed the engagement and said that the Assembly looks forward to receiving the relevant documents. He expressed confidence that the reforms, once implemented, will significantly internally generated revenue and position the state among the best-forming states in the north. Now I will give that to you, Cynthia, to start with, so that we can actually, so that we can break it down from your own side.
So, well, I feel like this is the kind of development story, first of all, we want to see. I mean, alongside the more sobering security issues we have been surrounded with, all of those security updates, but this is the kind of development story we want to see. So, first of all, when the Nigerian Tax Act came out, and the Tax Administrative Act, I was like, okay, finally, we are getting something right, because for a very long time, I've always perceived Nigerian tax system as a very regressive one, instead of it to be progressive. But then, finally, we are now seeing something, and the idea of even domesticating it in Kogi State, it's a very good move. It's way to go. It's more like a constructive, should I say a constructive decision, because maybe it's a decision, because I'll come back to implementation. Yeah, but it's more like a constructive decision at this point in time. And this one matters a lot, because for far too long, tax administration in many states, not just Kogi State, has been complicated and opaque. It has been, like I said, it has been regressive. It has been, the burden on tax on people has not been funny. It has led to so many inefficiencies, so many unfair burdens on, people. So by aligning the Nigerian Tax Act and the Tax Administration Act, I feel like Kogi is effectively saying, we want a clearer system. We want a system that reduces multiple taxations, unnecessary taxations on people,
on individuals,
protect low-income earners, protect middle-income earners, and encourage investment. That is very encouraging, because a system that taxes everybody equally is not a progressive tax system.
Of course.
Taxing needs to be, aligned according to your earnings, according to what you are, giving back to the society. So, well, and another thing, but that's a story for another day. I think we'll even have somebody come talk about, a lawyer come talk about that, because there's something I want to even touch, but then we do not have so much time to talk about that. But here, my point here is that we still need to be cautious. I always talk about implementation, and I said I was coming to that. So passing laws like this is one thing, but then at the end of the day, implementing the law is another thing. So for citizens to see the benefits of this, these laws must be transparent. It must touch everybody. It's not word of mouth or on papers. It must be accountable and committed to, the state must be committed to enforce these reforms, not just to make these reforms. It must touch everybody, and not just touch everybody, it must touch everybody fairly. But at the end of the day, I think this is a very good move, a very good decision to domesticate this tax act in Kogi State. And if done well, I feel like it could position Kogi as a a model for revenue reform in the
make it
north
balanced.
central or the middle belt, and a place where governments, are not just collecting tax, because that's what we want to see. We're not just collecting tax. We want to see that these tax are collected properly, and not just collected properly. We want to see where those tax are going back to. Exactly, because but at the end of the day, I can just say this is more like they're starting to build trusts with the people. The government is starting to build trust with the people, and the people can also, build that trust in the system. And like I said, starting off, this is the kind of development we want to see, and it's kudos to Kogi State that if this is implemented at the end of the day.
Like you said, if this is implemented, is actually very important, because building trust among the people is very, very important. Having this confidence that when I earn so amount, this is tax I'm supposed to pay. Not like you're comparing.
Nigerians know that they need to pay their tax.
Of course.
Because that was where I was going to. But
very important that they need to pay their tax. Very important. So let's move to the next story.
Okay, that's too much.
That's
I
all.
guess that's what.
We're enjoying the section, so we wanted to even continue thinking we have
yes, that's the much we can take for today. Let's run through the headlines. Okay, the first news we brought to you is that governors hold emergency security meetings as school attacks surge.
I also brought to you that fear as president orders withdrawal of police escort from VIPs.
And United Kingdom rejects Nigeria's request to transfer EKWEREMADU.
And finally, we said that Kogi State moves to domesticate new national tax laws.
Okay, let's go on a quick break, and when we come back, we'll bring you up to speed with the discussion segment proper.
(5G) technology. 5G technology promises to be a game changer by delivering ultra-fast internet speeds, low latency, and the ability to connect millions of devices seamlessly. It's going to fuel the future of smart cities, autonomous vehicles, and IoT devices, allowing them to communicate in real time. However, 5G rollout isn't without hurdles. High costs of infrastructure and regulatory issues in some regions have slowed down implementation. By 2026, the 5G market is expected to be valued at $667.90 billion, with the US, China, and South Korea leading.
So Nigeria, it's no longer news that Nigeria is facing one of its most troubling security chapters in recent years. Again, resurfacing again, a wave of coordinated kidnappings, many targeting, school children, in pushing the nation's educational system into crisis and forcing state governments to take drastic measures. So in the north, fear is rising as attacks on educational institutions are becoming more frequent and more violent. Within days, armed groups abducted schoolgirls in Kebbi and seized over 300 students and staff in Niger State. An attack so brazen it has shaken the entire region, not just the entire region, but it has shaken the entire country. Though around 50 students later escaped, the trauma remains. In response, all 19 northern governors have convened an emergency meeting scheduled for the 29th of November in Kaduna. The conversation is expected to produce tough decisions on surveillance, rapid response units, and coordinated defense strategies. Nasarawa State Governor Abdullahi Sule even cut short his participation in the G20 summit to return home, underscoring the urgency. But while the North is battling active threats, the Southwest is also taking preventive measures. Governors from Lagos, Ogun, Oyo, Osun, Ondo, and Ekiti met in Ibadan, reaching a landmark agreement. State policing must be established immediately. That's what they are saying. And the region is also setting up a joint security fund, a digital intelligence sharing platform, and is pressing the federal government to deploy forest guards to reclaim the forest belt now used as criminal hideouts. Meanwhile, the education sector is rattled. Bauchi State has closed every school, primary to tertiary, while institutions like the Federal Polytechnic Bauchi have suspended all activities. ASU also calls it an attack on education, insisting that the leaders are killing the sector by installments. Teachers' unions say they may withdraw completely from, the schools in high-risk zones. Human rights groups are warning of long-term consequences. Amnesty International says the fear of adoption will push thousands more children out of school, adding to Nigeria's already staggering 12 million out-of-school population. As political leaders meet and security agencies scramble, ordinary families are left grappling with fear uncertainty, and of course trauma. From prayers in Maiduguri to emergency summits in Kaduna and Ibadan, Nigeria stands at a crossroad at this point in time, fighting not only for the safety of its children, but for the future of education and national stability. And this morning, we asked a very difficult question, but a very necessary one. Nigeria's school lockdowns are rising. Are we relying too much on faith and too little on functional security? That's a question.
That's a big one.
It's a very, very big question, because we've seen Plateau states are calling for, how many is it, a 2-day or a 4-day prayer, which is going to come up soon. And I mean, we've been attending churches and we've been hearing these past few days, they have even added to midweek services. Midweek services is not even longer Wednesdays again. Added more days. The mosques, they are calling for prayers. Seculars are going around calling for prayers, calling for, fasting and whatnot. Is that what we need at this point in time? Do we need our security system to be tightened, or we need to? I don't know where we stand at this point in time, because first of all, schools are being locked down. Let's start with that. And then there is this fear of policy. Is this the right decision? Is this the right step to take? Because the sheer fact that multiple states, from Bauchi to Niger to Kebbi, Plateau, are shutting down schools, tells us that there's a problem here. It tells us that there's something very uncomfortable. There's uncomfortable truth here, that our system is overwhelmed at this point in time, because now government says safety first. Absolutely. I think safety first is important, but no one is arguing against protecting children. What we are talking about here, there are so many deeper concerns here. Are this shut down a policy? Are there like a policy response or a panic response? Is it because of the fear, or is this what is needed at this point in time? Children's education will just be cut short, and then they are asked to go and sit at home in the middle of nowhere. We know this is the end of the year, and they're trying to round off with school sessions. But then, most of them have not even started exams. Some of them just resumed back to school, and then all of this is happening. Even states that it has not reached yet, they are beginning to ask children to, go and sit at home. Just prevention before cure. But is that what we need? Because if the only 2 year we reach for every time when we have a threat is close schools. This is not the first time we are closing schools.
It's not the first time.
Close the schools.
Go back home.
I feel like we are kind of signaling that education is optional. It's not important again, because we can just easily say, close schools, go and sit at home. We've not talked about the trauma it will have on children. Trauma. I feel like this is where long-term damage lies. Because you ask some students to go back to school. I remember the ASU strike in 2020 when some of us were still in school, and had to sit at home. You do not know where you are going to. You do not know your future. You do not know your destiny. You are scared that you are going to get to so age before you graduate from school. What is going to become of you? And we know that in Nigeria, there is a certain age you get to.
Exactly.
You are scared of applying for jobs.
Exactly.
There's a certain age you get to. You can no longer.
You even start reducing your age.
You start reducing your age. Start doing academics
just to meet up.
All of those things. So there's so many things. Children who hear gunshots in classrooms, they will not forget all of these things.
They won't forget it.
I was sharing yesterday with Chinatu on their morning digest that the trauma, the psychological effect, the mental effect is going to have on children, and not just on children, even on friends and families that are related to these people. Because you cannot have my sister, my friend, or my brother being adopted. Even if the person is returned back, all of us are still going to live in that fear. Fear. So it's going to have so many negative effects on parents, on teachers, on children. But then, I do not understand where we stand at this point.
Okay, so the thing is, I believe this is a panic response. I just want to believe that, because I can remember the COVID-19. When the COVID-19 happened, we also had this shut down churches, shut down schools, shut down this. And there is one particular video I was watching on the internet. I saw people going to churches with their cutlasses, with guns. They were like, they are ready for anything. And right now, I just feel that people are actually not having faith no more in our Nigerian security. Now they want to take it by themselves. They want to protect their lives. Yes, they take it to God rather. You can imagine somebody going to church with a cutlass and a gun because of the security system is actually not strengthened yet. I mean, the fear is massive. What is happening now is going to weaken our education system. I keep saying it, like, because children are at home presently doing nothing. And most of these people are not yet enrolled in handworks. Because one thing we want to amplify in this country is learning of handwork. What about if you've not started and then your school just shut down and you're at home? What will you be doing? At a particular age that you've agreed that, okay, I'm going to finish my secondary school, I'm going to finish my university, and you're still at home waiting for everything to calm down. What if it calms down at the point where you've already gone past? So imagine that kind of, you being in that kind of state, how are you going to feel? So even if children are sent back to school now, you know that fear will still be there. So we're talking about mental health here. Because your mental health needs to be coordinated for you to learn.
Exactly.
What if you're learning out of fear and you're not able to grasp some certain things? It's going to affect you.
We're still battling with our educational system.
Thank you. We're still battling. You can see the number of students that are out of school already, and now we are adding because of what is happening in this country presently. So the thing is, I actually like what is actually going on in terms of the security, trying to train them more and, strengthen our security system. I just believe it helps. Like you said, it's implementing part of it that is very important. We don't just want to read all this on news headlines. We don't just want to see them, but we want to feel it.
Exactly.
We want to feel it.
We want to even see it.
We want to see it. Yes, we want to see it and feel it at the same time.
They are coming out.
Yeah,
they are talking
massively,
about
massively.
Let's talk about the governors now. The week gave us one of the most. I mean, if I remember how I came to work yesterday morning and saw the news of Niger,
kidnapped student, adopted.
It shook me a little. I feel like this week gave us the most dramatic.
Because when one was ending, another one was starting.
Another one was starting. Governors, they are leaving even the G20 summit. They are coming back. The president was about to go and he was cut short. In short, he didn't even venture into it again. Midway, he just stopped and he wasn't going. I mean, the country needs to be prioritized at this point in time. On fire? Yes, exactly. It's on fire. It's on fire. Seriously, it's on fire. And that tells you the weight of what is happening
right now.
Yes. Then you have 19 governors are already planning, emergency meeting. The Southwest governors have already met in Ibadan and they are saying enough.
It's enough.
It's enough. And we need state policing.
We need state
policing. They are coming to say, okay, we also need joint security fund. They're seeing how they can put security fund. They're also saying, how can we use digital intelligence at this point in time?
Of course.
I remember when the brigadier was, we saw a video that the brigadier was killed, and it was killed and whatnot. I was saying,
and they made it public.
According to them, exactly. I was saying what intelligence measures were employed in that case. What communication measures, what operational measures were employed in that case? What intelligence operational measures rather were employed in that case? This is the time where we are talking about technology. Nigeria is one of the fastest growing country when it comes to technology. We have Lagos doing wonders. We know that Nigeria is in tuned, very much in tuned and inclined to technology. So what are we doing with all of this digital intelligence? What are we doing with it? Great. Strong, beautiful statements we are seeing and strong decisions from these governors that the Southwest governors that enough, we have to employ state policing at this point in time. But the honest question is that, and I know many Nigerians must be asking this because I've been in conversation with so many people and I've been hearing what people are saying, even on the radio while I was coming to work, people were calling in and they were saying a lot of things. Why does it take a crisis of this magnitude before we see coordination, before we come together, before we begin to think of, what are these ideas, state policing, intelligence sharing, within this region. We know that this region, okay, this is the Southwest region, this is this region, and these people are operating within this region. How can we come together? How can we partner to see that, we can safeguard our states? How can we see that we can safeguard entirely our country entirely? I mean, they have been sitting on this table before for over decades. They have been talking about this issue. what we need at this point in time, yes, first step is come together and see how we can. But these things are there.
Yes,
already. How can we execute them? That is my own talk. That is my own bone of contention here. That should be the bone of contention too of Nigeria.
Yeah.
How can we come together to see that we can execute
this plan?
It's not about putting communique out here and there. This is not another plan that, you know, after weeks now we'll start hearing, the matter has resolved and everybody goes back to their houses and sits down. The Southwest governors are saying, set up a state police immediately. I think I like their stance on this, and it's very good. But then Nigerians know the real battle will be at the National Assembly, not even the press briefing. Yes, that's where they are going to argue it. See, they have already told them police that attend to VIPs to withdraw, go back to their duties. Immediately. And now they are coming out to say, how can we ensure that our lives are safe? Is that what we need to be talking at this point in time? That's where they are going to go and argue about it in the National Assembly, not even in all of these delegations, delegation meetings they are having. And then another, the main issue of today, Mary, citizens are now turning to faith.
Okay.
Yes. Is it for hope? Is it for comfort? Is it for what? Or is it just that our pattern of over-dependence? I know Nigerians are very religious people.
Yeah.
I know this requires sensitivity.
Of course.
People are religious. And Nigeria is a very, to an extent I can say, quotes and unquotes, that Nigerians are very, religious. So when people are scared, most of the time, we're always asked to pray. In short, the first thing that comes to your mind as a Nigerian is to pray.
For protection.
We even saw one of our minister.
Yeah, so you should fast and pray.
When the plane was turbulent, one
was speaking in tongues.
Started praying. So you can tell yes, can go.
Exactly.
Christians, so Muslims, so traditionalists, everybody sort of seek comfort when it comes to issues like this in prayers and fasting. But the truth we need to confront, Mary, is that faith should comfort citizens, but not replace government responsibility.
Exactly.
Because whether we pray from now till tomorrow, if the government do not ensure that they put things in place, we will be in this circle, we will be turning and turning and turning. They are calling for proper prayer meetings in Maduguri, fasting in Borno, crusades in Plateau State. We are seeing all of these things on the news, and all of these, they kind of bring hope. And at this point in time, I don't know if it's hope we need, though. But hope I know is very important. Yes. So far, I know that hope is very important. But hope is not a security architecture. Hope is not a security structure we need at this point in time. It's not the strategy we need at this point in time. Prayers cannot at all, that's my own point of view, replace that perimeter fencing of when we talk of strategy, of early warning systems, of surveillance drones, of trained guards. Prayer, is it prayer that will bring the police people?
You pray for them to be trained.
Even the Bible, Nehemiah prayed and stationed guards. That's what the Bible said. That Nehemiah prayed. He did what? Prayer without...
And we'll keep saying it. So I just believe that the prayer is helping, because God, of course, needs men to work. So, if He's helping us, as we're having hope, as we're having hope and belief, we should also be on the lookout for ourselves.
Okay.
Yes.
So how Nigerians have been believing for a very long time.
That was someone said.
Yes. We have always believed. Nigerians are strong believers.
Very strong believers.
Strong believers. What we are seeing here is governance failure. That is essentially.
Of course, we are seeing that.
Spiritualizing this issue.
We're
looking at Nigerians as being ignorant at this point in time.
Okay.
This is not me saying faith is not
good,
or
prayer is not good.
Religion's faith, whatever, cannot work wonders. But then let's face reality. This is a reality check. This is a reality check.
It's actually a reality check.
Even the Bible says it has given us dominion over all things. I don't want to begin to quote.
Pastor Cynthia, should I say that?
But this is my view. That, beyond prayers, we must do something about it.
Of course.
Let's be reality.
Yes.
Let's do a reality check here. We must do something about it. Those actionable steps we need is what we want to talk about lastly before, we go. And this is my view. that in the heart of these conversations, even if we are trying to, Mary's stance is
different,
and she wants to pray Nigeria to freedom, but then I feel like what must be done here is that first we have to decentralize security.
Yes,
it's very important. You cannot manage 36 states insecurity from one office in Abuja.
Of course.
Decentralized security. That is the very, it's very impractical for you to be giving orders from Abuja this state to this state.
Yeah.
There's something with Nigeria. I was even saying, why don't we give monopoly to all of these, what do they call them? States. Most things will come from the federal government. Every decision comes from the federal government. Before we do this, we say, okay, orders have to come from the federal government. And
what about the state government?
They know these things. People also know it. This is not something that I'm saying out of, thin air or nowhere. But people know this. Governors know this. So why are we still stalling? Why are we still stalling? Why are we still beating around the bush?
When we know what we're supposed to do.
Let us decentralize state policing. Let us decentralize it. Every state should have their own police force. Of course. Well-trained police force. Well-equipped. And on Idea TV, what do we say about technology? I mean, we advocate strongly for technology. What are we using technology for? Schools are left there in vulnerable areas. They need early warning
no
systems.
Strong security, no
surveillance cameras, no nothing. Communities need emergency lines. You can't even. Where was I the other day?
Active emergency lines. Where was
I the other day? I could not use one of my lines.
Oh.
I couldn't use
because of the network.
Because it doesn't reach that place at all.
Oh no.
That network, it doesn't cover that place. It's not covered in that place at all. So we need actual working systems. That's what we need at this point in time. Drones are not even luxury. Nigerians are creating drones.
Yes.
We are building these things. Nigeria is not too big to, I mean, we have gone past that foot patrol system.
Yeah.
Carry plank up and down and be telling people, hey, on the road. All of these things, we have grown past that system. Seriously.
We have.
It sounds funny, but then we have to see, and then that community intelligence, I was talking about how we should start training. I gave an example with Yelwata, how the youth in Yelwata, after the incident, they came out and say, we want to guard ourselves, because they even commended the police force that they came, but some police people were assaulted. Some of them were killed and whatnot. I think some sort of violence were meted on them. But then this youth came out and said, we want to start policing our state. Vigilantes, community vigilantes came out and we want to start guarding ourselves. If that is the case, we need collective action there. See how you can foster community intelligence, train them, see how we can educate them. Anyone who understands insecurity in Nigeria, Mary, knows that the locals often know their problem more than you that is coming from outside.
Sure.
You cannot, I know the nooks and crannies around my area. I know the nooks and crannies around my house. So you cannot come and say you want to guard me without asking me, where is that? For example, now a rat is disturbing me in my house. I am the one sleeping in that. I know where the rat passes and come and what it targets, my oil and this and that. So when you come, you just want to set rat poison anywhere. No, you have to ask me where is the route this thing always follows? Where are the passages? Where is this one? Where is the opening? I am the one who is going to show you and say, okay, this is where it's happening. This is where. So we have to kind of create that. Be one with the community. Kind of create that intelligent gathering system. Build trust with the community. And I think without all of this, I don't know. And then I always talk about accountability. And that's more like implementation too. These conversations is very uncomfortable. It's a very uncomfortable one.
Very, very uncomfortable.
We need to get comfortable finding the solutions at this point in time.
Which is very important.
I mean, I don't know if you have anything to say.
Because what I feel here is that I don't want it to happen at all. But how this thing is actually going is, I feel after the rural areas attack, they are going to visit the urban areas. So let's stop this at this point right now. Let's stop it at the gates.
Why must they even go through why must they go through? I was talking about soft targets yesterday. Why are they going to soft targets first?
Because they are very soft to attack. The security system there is not strengthened.
That means these people attacking these people, there is some form of vulnerability.
Of course.
Prioritize that. I said it yesterday.
Of course.
Capitalize on that and use it to get back at them. This matter may not be really as easy as we are saying it.
It's not easy.
I feel like if we put tactics in place, we'll do something for our country.
Yeah, knowing their hideouts now, knowing their hideout now, we should do something about it.
Do we know?
It's
they're
not,
even telling
they're
us
talking
where they are
about
hiding.
staying in forests. I said they're using phones, like they're using the internet. They are not even scared of the government. They're not even scared of their faces being seen anymore. Gone are those days where they want to attack, they'll cover their faces, they'll try to hide from the camera and everything. Now they are filming themselves for you to see them. That's indirectly, I feel this is challenging Nigerian security. Do you understand? It's challenging the government itself.
It is.
It's putting the government on the spot, like, what can you people do? So it's high time we actually, do something about it. And I like the fact that something is actually being done about it. Aside the spiritual aspect of it, we're also looking at other aspects, which I believe is going to yield great results. If we want to talk about this.
Let's hold on to prayers now. Yes, we can pray, or we should pray.
Yeah.
Prayer alone,
will not solve it, though.
Man a gate, whether we like it or not.
Yeah, of
Prayer
course.
Don't come and stand and say,
I'm praying, and you're speaking in tongues.
I don't know about that, but then this is where we need to end for the day. We want to hear from you. How is insecurity affecting your community, your schools, or your children? I mean, we're talking about children here. Children's lives are at stake. These are their major targets.
I'm telling you.
So you can join the conversations using the hashtag Morning Digest, which is on Facebook, which is on X, which is on Instagram, and even on LinkedIn. And you can catch the replay of the Idea Morning Digest on YouTube at Idea Television, all on Idea Television. You can also leave a voice note on our WhatsApp line, the lines that usually scrolls on the screen or displayed on the screen. But this is where we have to close for today. Up next will be the midday news, which is coming up by 12. My name is Cynthia Bassi, and it's good to have spent my day with you.